Have you ever wondered about the intricate relationship between homelessness and crime in the UK? It's a complex web we're about to unravel. Homelessness, a pressing issue that has been on the rise for the past decade, is a stark reality in the UK. It's more than just a lack of a roof over one's head, it's a symptom of systemic issues, a manifestation of deep-seated societal problems. Add crime to the mix and you have a potent cocktail of challenges that are intertwined in ways more profound than we often realize. Consider this. In the past year, 1 in every 200 people in the UK found themselves without a home. That's a staggering figure, isn't it? And the correlation between homelessness and crime isn't negligible either. A significant proportion of the homeless population has had brushes with the law, often for reasons that stem directly from their circumstances. But let's be clear, homelessness does not equate to criminality. It's a predicament that, unfortunately, makes people more vulnerable to falling into the clutches of crime, whether as victims or perpetrators. It's a cycle of desperation and survival, a battle against the odds that's fought on the streets every day. In the depths of this issue, we find a myriad of aspects to explore. The social, economic and legal factors that contribute to homelessness, the types of crimes that are most prevalent among the homeless population, the measures in place to address these problems, and the initiatives aimed at breaking the cycle. As we delve into these topics, we'll shed light on the unseen reality of homelessness and crime in the UK. We'll explore the statistics, the stories and the solutions with insights from experts who work with these challenges firsthand. We'll unravel the complexities, challenge the misconceptions and seek to understand the true nature of this multifaceted crisis. Join us as we delve deeper into this complex issue and hear from the experts who work firsthand with these challenges. Meet Dr. Johnson, a leading sociologist who has spent years researching homelessness and crime in the UK. Dr. Johnson's work is an incredible deep dive into the social issues of our time. His research has illuminated the often unseen connection between homelessness and crime. He explains, homelessness is a social issue that we cannot ignore. It's much more than just a lack of shelter. It's a complex web of systemic problems, including poverty, mental health, and societal neglect. And these issues, he continues, are intricately linked to crime. When you're living on the streets, survival becomes your primary focus, and sometimes that can push individuals into criminal activities. It's not a choice, but a desperate bid to survive. But what leads to homelessness in the first place? Dr. Johnson highlights that the causes are multifaceted. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. It can be a sudden job loss, a family breakdown, or an untreated mental illness, and often it's a combination of these factors. The system fails to provide a safety net, and individuals find themselves on the streets. He also underscores the importance of understanding this link in order to address the issue effectively. If we want to reduce crime, we need to tackle homelessness, and to do that, we need a multi-pronged approach that addresses the root causes. Dr. Johnson's research paints a sobering picture of the state of homelessness and its link to crime in the UK. It's a stark reminder of the urgent need for systemic change. But as he points out, change is possible. With the right policies and social support, we can break this cycle. We can create a society where no one is left out in the cold. Dr. Johnson's insights give us a glimpse into the harsh realities of homelessness and crime, but to fully understand, we need to hear more perspectives. Now we turn to Sergeant Smith, a veteran police officer who deals with the intersection of homelessness and crime daily. Sergeant Smith has spent the better part of his career patrolling the streets, navigating the intricate web of homelessness and crime. His experiences have given him a unique perspective on this social issue that plagues our society. Every day, Smith tells us, is a balancing act. On one hand, you have the law, clear and unyielding. On the other, you have people, complex and unpredictable. They're not just lawbreakers, they're individuals who've fallen through the cracks of our societal safety nets. Smith stresses that the challenges law enforcement faces are multifaceted. Policing homelessness isn't just about enforcing the law, he says. It's about understanding the root causes: poverty, mental health issues, substance abuse. It's about recognizing that a jail cell isn't always the solution. The link between homelessness and crime, according to Smith, is not as straightforward as it might seem. Yes, there's crime. Yes, there's homelessness. But it's not as simple as saying one causes the other. It's a complex cycle that's hard to break. Smith also shares his personal observations, noting the rise in homelessness over the years and its correlation with an increase in crime rates. He recalls countless encounters with individuals who, pushed to the brink by desperation and destitution, resort to petty crimes to survive. Yet despite the harsh realities, Smith maintains an unwavering faith in humanity. He speaks of the resilience he's witnessed, the kindness shown by communities, the small victories that give him hope. "Every day I see the worst of what life can do to people," he says, "but I also see the best of what people can do for each other." Sergeant Smith's experiences on the front line underscore the complexities of this issue, but what about those who have lived it? To truly understand, we must hear from those who have experienced homelessness and its link to crime firsthand. What we must remember is that homelessness and crime are not merely abstract concepts. They are lived realities for many. They are the cold nights spent on unforgiving pavements, the gnawing hunger that never quite goes away, the constant fear of being targeted, the desperation that sometimes leads to unthinkable choices. Let us hear from John, who spent 5 years on the streets of London. He speaks of the desperation that led him to petty theft, the unending cycle of crime and punishment that he found himself in. He tells us how, more often than not, it was about survival, not greed. Next, we hear from Sarah, a single mother forced into homelessness due to circumstances beyond her control. She shares her experience of resorting to shoplifting to feed her young daughter. She talks about the shame, the guilt, and the fear. But most importantly, she speaks of the love for her child that made her risk everything. Then there's Alex, once a promising student, whose life took a tragic turn, leading him to a life on the streets. He talks about the alienation, the feeling of being invisible, the desperation that led him to drug dealing. He speaks about the complex layers of homelessness and crime and how intertwined they can be. These are not isolated experiences. They are the harsh realities that many face every day. They are not excuses for criminal behavior, but rather an exploration of the circumstances that can lead to it. They highlight the need for empathy, understanding, and systemic change. These personal stories remind us that behind the statistics are real people with real struggles. They are a call to action, a plea for understanding, a reminder that our society can and must do better. We owe it to John, to Sarah, to Alex, and to the countless others who experience the harsh realities of homelessness and crime every day. With such a complex issue, the question remains, what can we do to tackle homelessness and crime in the UK? The road ahead is challenging but not insurmountable. It requires us to rethink our strategies, to be innovative, and most importantly, to show compassion and understanding. One potential solution lies in a multi-pronged approach that addresses not only the symptoms of homelessness and crime, but also their root causes. Efforts must be made to tackle poverty, unemployment, mental health issues, and addiction. These are often the underlying factors that push people into homelessness and crime. Initiatives such as affordable housing schemes, job training programs, and mental health services could play a pivotal role in helping those at risk. Measures like these not only provide immediate relief, but can also offer long-term stability. But for these initiatives to be effective, they need to be part of a broader, coordinated effort. Policies must be put in place that break down the barriers to accessing these services. This means addressing the systemic issues that often prevent the most vulnerable from seeking help. Experts believe that a shift towards preventative measures could have a significant impact. By addressing the issue before it escalates, we can reduce the number of people falling into homelessness and crime. Early intervention programs, for instance, could help identify those at risk and provide them with the support they need. Moreover, it's crucial to remember that every person's journey into and out of homelessness and crime is unique. Therefore, solutions must be flexible and adaptable, taking into account the individual's specific circumstances and needs. However, it's not just about policy changes and initiatives. It's about changing attitudes and perceptions. It's about creating a society where everyone, regardless of their circumstances, is treated with dignity and respect. As we strive to address homelessness and crime, it's clear that understanding the issue is just the first step on a long road ahead, but with commitment, perseverance, and a collective effort, we can make a difference. We can create a future where homelessness and crime are not inevitable, but preventable.